Hello everyone, my name is Kyle Stapp. This brief training presentation is for my final project for CTE 5306. I hope everyone enjoys the presentation and learns something new about the concrete industry. The purpose of this training session is to help you learn about the concrete industry, how the concrete industry operates, including different types of concrete work and different opportunities that await people in the concrete industry. Hopefully, by the end of this training, you'll have a good understanding of all these things and will be ready to start your journey into the world of concrete work. The three main goals that I have set out for everyone taking this training is to learn the basics of concrete, what it is, learn how concrete is transported and placed, and learn how concrete is tested for compliance and acceptance on the job site. You will have the opportunity to test your knowledge as we progress through the training with small activities in between each subject. Many people confuse concrete for cement and vice versa. It is easy to mix the two up, but in reality they are quite different. Cement is an ingredient in concrete. It is a binder and essential part of what makes the concrete strong. It looks like a clumpy gray powder versus concrete is in a final product made up of four different main components, which are sand, rock, cementitious materials, and water. Unlike cement, when it is being mixed, it is wet and rocky. Concrete has many uses from paving high-rises to building highways. It is used for many things in all types of construction. There were 197,000 concrete finishers reported in the U.S. in 2022 alone, via the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. The number is only a fraction of the total people in the industry, as it left out mixed truck drivers, salesmen, concrete testers, and other professions. The next slide will be the first of our activities. We will test your general knowledge of concrete and the industry as a whole. Go ahead and record your answers to these questions on a piece of paper, and I will go over the answers in a minute. Feel free to pause the video if needed. Alright, now that you've unpaused and had some time with the slide, we will go over the answers. If you answered cement to the first question, you are right. You can tell by its powdery, dry makeup that it is certainly not concrete. The total number of concrete finishers that was reported in 2022 was 197,000. This number is only going to grow, especially in Texas, over the next couple of years. The main ingredient that was left out of the third picture is water. Without water, you'll have no way of really combining the rest of the mix. Next, we will move on to the second area of our training, which is transportation and placement of concrete. Concrete is usually transported in a revolving mixer truck. We've all seen them with large drums driving down the road. These mixed trucks are continuously mixing a load of concrete at variable rates that depends on how dry or how wet the customer needs the concrete. Another type of concrete mixer is a volumetric mixer. It has a unique quality that it allows it to transport all four different components of concrete separately and then mixed at the job site. This can come in handy for workers who want more control over their mix. Once the truck is at the job site, you can take a team of up to 30 plus people to place and finish the concrete. Depending on the job, some companies may employ laser screed operators, which can finish concrete at the same rate as about 10 human concrete finishers. They can save a lot of money in worker salaries and speed up production. The cost of transportation of concrete is typically around $40 a load on top of the price of the product itself. This covers the driver's pay, fuel costs, as well as other operating costs that the trucks may incur, such as oil changes and new tires. The placement of concrete costs as much as the number of employees the subcontractor employs. The average salary for concrete finishers in 2022 was around $56,000. Let's go ahead and get your second knowledge check on this area on the following slide. Once again, go ahead and write your answers down and I'll go over the answers briefly. Feel free to pause the video if needed. Now that you have unpaused, let's go over the answers. The first picture depicts a revolving mixer truck. It is the most commonly used method of concrete transportation. The unique feature of the volumetric mixing truck is that it transports the components of concrete dry and allows workers to mix it at the job site. The laser screed is used to finish concrete, and it does so effectively. This concludes the second area of our training. Next, we will talk about concrete testing and why it is important. Concrete is tested before it is placed by the quality control technicians that work for the concrete supplier. It is tested to ensure that the product will be satisfactory when delivered to the customer. If preliminary tests come back negative, the quality control tech will call the placers to let them know not to use that truck. Different types of concrete testing include slump testing, air content testing, and PSI testing. Slump testing is the test that determines the dryness and workability of the concrete. It is performed by scooping and routing 3 layers of concrete into a cone mold and lifting the mold. The slump is determined by the distance of the concrete is displaced when the mold is lifted. The more it is displaced, the higher the slump, the less it moves, the lower the slump. Air content testing is done by filling a metal bowl with concrete and routing it. You then put an air meter on top of it, seal it airtight, and the air content is measured by pumping air into it and then releasing it in one swift motion. The last test here is the PSI test. The test is conducted by creating around 10 cylinders from a sample and letting them cure for different periods of time. After a certain number of days, the cylinders are broken and the PSIs at which they broke are recorded and averaged out. The next slide contains our last knowledge check. If you need to review this slide before you proceed, feel free to rewind. This is our final knowledge check. As before, please feel free to pause the video and write down your answers to the questions. Now we'll go over the answers shortly. Now that you've unpaused, let's go over the answers. The first picture depicts the slump test. This is the test that is used to determine the dryness and workability of the product. The device in the second picture is used to determine the air content of the concrete product. It is called the air meter. The cylinders in the third picture are going to be crushed in a hydraulic press that slowly applies more and more pressure over time. The PSI at which the cylinder breaks is recorded and averaged out. This concludes the last area of our training. The next couple slides will go over the opportunities that are available in the concrete industry and an overview of what you've learned today. There are many different opportunities for work in this industry. Concrete suppliers employ salesmen, dispatchers, batchmen, mixed truck drivers, and quality control techs. Concrete subcontractors employ laser screed operators, project managers, superintendents, and regular concrete finishers. Concrete testing is a broad field in and of itself, which employs thousands of people. Regardless of what your professional experience is, there's a type of work for you available in the concrete industry. This concludes our training on concrete for beginners. By this point in the program, you should have learned about concrete and its various applications, why concrete testing is important to the supplier and the construction companies, how the concrete industry employs thousands of people, and the different opportunities that are waiting for people in the industry. This training should have given you a good base of knowledge that you can leverage into one of many different careers in the concrete industry. On the next slide, I've provided references I used in creating this training program. Here are the couple of references that I used for this presentation. If you're looking for any other information for what was discussed today, please check out the book Concrete, found below. Thank you all for watching my presentation. I hope you learned something new today.